Hello, everybody. It's Friday, and that means it's time for another topic of the week. Preamble up top, of course, thanks to everybody who submitted for last week's topic, which was about 3D printing. Got some great responses. A lot of good points were raised, and I think to me there was a couple really cool things that were mentioned that I didn't think about and that I really liked. So one of the things that surfaced kind of quickly in the comments and were mentioned in videos is that aside from printing miniatures, which is often big and difficult, and maybe we don't have the resolution to do it exactly, it's certainly not at a personal price. Printing bits, swords or guns or whatever emblems, tiny things like that. A, lot less materials. B, lot lower resolution needed. C, lot more valuable to everybody. And what I think is interesting about that is it doesn't disrupt GW at all either. It actually makes me want to buy more models now that I know I can convert them however I want. So I thought that was a really cool point and one I hadn't thought of really previously as being a major selling feature of it. The other thing, special shout out to Victor Case, who Victor had a awesome note about. Apparently, there was a 3D printing thing where you can send him your likeness, and they will put they'll print a little 3D head of you. You can put on your Space Marine captain. Now, I don't have Space Marines and have no desire to do that, but that level of true personalization, and boy, is that word absolutely the truth there, was something fascinating that I hadn't really thought about. The fact that you could have services that personalize it in a very real way, personal to you, that you could print and have your Marines look like famous figures. Who doesn't want Abraham Lincoln, the Space Marine chaplain, charging into battle? So I thought that was kind of a funny thing that I hadn't even considered the possibilities of stuff like that, and that would all open up. You're never going to get certain exact things that you might want out of funny historicals or comedy figs or stuff like that, but it would really open up all of that. So I thought that was really neat. So, previous week out of the way, as always, those videos will be linked on last week's video, which is down below. Also down below is the video for this week's topic of the week. So this week, over on Warhammer TV, which is what that video is, they asked for you to email them with suggestions. Now, before you get too excited that you're going to be suggesting new factions to come out in Age of Sigmar or how to update the Chaos Space Marine Army book or something like that, they had a very specific request. And that was for, they're going to be doing a sort of advent calendar of painting videos, one per day throughout the month of December, and they want your suggestions. I actually really like Games Workshop's painting videos. I think they're really good. Whatever you think of Games Workshop as a entity, those videos can be very instructive, and I think are very helpful, especially on painting a lot of their miniatures. It's cool that they do it, and the guy's a good painter, and he explains the things very well. So, first of all, I would encourage everybody to go do that, if there's certain techniques or things you want to see. They seem pretty open to anything, painting specific techniques or specific models. So if there's stuff you want to see videos on that you've never seen a video on, go email them. Like I said, links down below, and maybe it'll get on the calendar. But more specifically, what I want to talk about with the topic is a couple things about Games Workshop and communication. So this is obviously very different than we have previously seen from them. They're soliciting feedback, maybe not in the most broad way, maybe not as much as we'd want them, but as I've said, it's baby steps. They've opened up more to the community, they've sent stuff to podcasts and things like that. So, here's my topic of the week, and that is, what's the next thing you want to see in Games Workshop's slowly evolving communication strategy? Don't necessarily go for the moon, okay? You get open feedback on the next army book or whatever. What's a reasonable step that you'd like to see, and why is it a big deal to you? Okay? Maybe it's a new video series you want to see them do on sort of explaining rules and design choices. Maybe it's a Tactica video where they just kind of explain tactics in their games and talk through certain things. Maybe it's a behind-the-scenes thing where they take you through the sculpts and working on the new models. Maybe it's kind of a teaser series of videos where they release farther out what's going to happen. I think that if we don't shoot for the moon, they have been showing that they're willing to take baby steps, and I think it's interesting with this, and that they're willing to solicit feedback. What might be the next step? Okay. And so for mine personally, what I would love to see is I actually will stick with what they're already doing, and I'll pick something kind of low-hanging. I would love to see a more in-depth paint series video at, like, sort of really focused on the heavy metal, sort of like style of painting at like a really high-level paint stuff. Keep with the series that they have, which kind of walks you through at a basic level, but they don't get into detail. I'd love to see the full behind-the-scenes, long-form, walk me through the whole thing, get the nitty-gritty on the techniques. I think there are a lot of great painters on the heavy metal team. I don't think that's really could ever be disputed. Moreover, their ability to do a very same paint job multiple times, to not deviate, to deliver that high level of quality consistently is really impressive, and I'd love to know some of their secrets, and I'd love to have them walk through their thoughts on how they attack it and things like that. So, if Games Workshop is opening up and talking just a little more, what's the next little thing that you want to see from them? The next baby step in their communication strategy, and why would it matter to you? Okay? So, that's the topic of the week. As always, I hope you think it's interesting. Look forward to your responses in your videos. As always, they will be linked down below this video. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.